If you're over 60, I want to talk to you directly. You've probably been told many times to watch your salt intake for the sake of your heart. But what if I told you there are even more dangerous foods hiding in your kitchen? Foods you trust, foods you've been eating for years. And without realizing it, they could be silently damaging your heart, raising your blood pressure, clogging your arteries, and making your body inflamed. Science has shown again and again that certain foods are directly linked to heart problems, but many people, especially in our age group, simply don't know which ones to avoid. That's why I made this for you, to give you clear, honest information that could protect your heart and maybe even add years to your life. Before we start, I'd love to know, where are you watching from today? Just drop your state or city in the comments below. And if you have any natural health tips of your own, feel free to share those too. Someone else might really benefit from hearing what's worked for you. 1. Sugary drinks. These include sodas, boxed juices, sweetened iced teas, and even those light or diet versions many people rely on. Now I know they're tasty and easy to grab, but they quietly do a lot of damage. When you drink something with a lot of sugar, especially in liquid form, it quickly floods your bloodstream. This sudden sugar rush forces your body to produce a lot of insulin to bring the levels down. Over time, this wears out your system, leads to insulin resistance, and builds fat around your waist. A big warning sign for heart health. Sugary drinks are strongly linked to inflammation and high blood pressure. Even if you're not overweight, just drinking them regularly raises your risk of stroke and heart attack. And those diet drinks? They're no better. Artificial sweeteners can harm your gut health and may even trick your body into craving more food. It becomes a cycle that's hard to break. If you want to protect your heart, replace those sugary drinks with water, herbal teas, or lemon water. 2. Hydrogenated oils. These are found in margarine, packaged cookies, crackers, frozen meals, and even some breads. You might not see the word trans fat on the label, but if it says partially hydrogenated, that's the same thing. And it's one of the most dangerous types of fat for your heart. These oils go through a chemical process that makes them solid at room temperature. That might help food last longer on shelves, but it doesn't do your body any favors. Trans fats raise your bad cholesterol, LDL, and lower your good cholesterol, HDL. That means your arteries get more clogged and your blood can't flow as easily. Over time, this leads to high blood pressure, strokes, and heart attacks, even if the rest of your diet seems okay. The tricky part is that many of these foods are marketed as low-fat or trans fat-free, but still contain small amounts that add up fast. That's why it's important to check labels and know what you're buying. A better option? Use real olive oil, coconut oil, or a small amount of butter instead. These natural fats in moderation are much safer for your heart. 3. Fried foods. Now let's talk about fried foods. Things like fried chicken, French fries, onion rings, and even those crispy snacks we keep in the pantry. They might taste comforting, but the way they're cooked can put a lot of stress on your heart. Most fried foods are cooked in unhealthy oils, often reused multiple times in restaurants or fast food places. These superheated oils become toxic, creating harmful compounds that cause inflammation in the body. And chronic inflammation is one of the key triggers behind heart disease. But that's just the beginning. Fried foods are also packed with trans fats and saturated fats, both of which clog the arteries and make the blood vessels stiff. When blood can't flow freely, your heart has to work harder. And over time, that can lead to serious problems like heart attacks or strokes. And let's not forget, fried foods are usually high in calories and low in nutrients. So they can lead to weight gain without giving your body anything useful in return. Many older adults also notice feeling heavy or tired after eating fried foods. That's because these fats are harder to digest and put extra strain on your liver and metabolism. Better choice? Bake, air fry, or grill your food instead. You'll still get flavor without sacrificing your heart health. 4. Processed meats. Now let's talk about processed meats. Things like bacon, sausages, hot dogs, ham, salami, and deli slices. These are foods many of us grew up eating and still enjoy in sandwiches or breakfast plates. But if you're trying to protect your heart, these might be doing more harm than good. Processed meats are packed with saturated fat and sodium, both of which are well known to raise blood pressure and cholesterol. And when your blood pressure stays high, your heart has to pump harder every day. That extra pressure wears it down over time. But there's another danger most people don't know about: nitrites and nitrates. These are preservatives used to keep the meat looking fresh and give it that pink color. When heated, like during frying or baking, they can turn into chemicals called nitrosamines, which are not only harmful to the heart, but may also increase cancer risk. Even small servings, when eaten often, can raise your risk of stroke and heart disease. That's why doctors recommend cutting back or avoiding them altogether. Instead, try fresh options like grilled chicken, fish, or even eggs. And if you miss that smoky flavor, use herbs and spices to season your meals naturally. Your heart will feel the difference. 5. Margarine and vegetable spreads. Now here's one that surprises a lot of people. Margarine and those soft vegetable spreads. For years, we were told to use these instead of butter because they were heart-friendly. But now we know that many types of margarine are full of trans fats, the very same fats that raise bad cholesterol, lower good cholesterol, and clog your arteries over time. That means instead of helping your heart, they might actually be harming it. The reason? These spreads are made from vegetable oils that go through a process called hydrogenation. That's what turns liquid oils into a spreadable solid, and in the process creates dangerous fats. Even the versions labeled as trans fat-free can still have small amounts that add up if you're using them daily. And it gets worse when margarine is heated during cooking or baking. It can form toxic compounds that hurt your cells and speed up aging. Many spreads also have additives and preservatives that can cause inflammation, which puts more stress on your heart and blood vessels. 6. White bread and refined pasta. Let's talk about something many people eat every single day without thinking twice. White bread, white rice, and regular pasta. These foods are made from refined flour, which means all the fiber and nutrients have been stripped away. What's left is a fast-burning carbohydrate that quickly turns into sugar in your blood. And when your blood sugar spikes over and over again, it increases the risk of insulin resistance, one of the root causes of heart disease. Now you might think, but I eat whole wheat sometimes. The problem is, many so-called whole grain products are still mostly made with white flour and just a touch of whole wheat, not enough to protect your heart. And without fiber, these foods don't keep you full for long. You end up eating more, gaining weight, and putting pressure on your heart. Also, excess sugar from these refined carbs can turn into triglycerides, a type of fat that builds up in the blood and clogs the arteries. That's why it's not just sugar in desserts you need to watch. It's also the hidden sugar in everyday carbs like bread and pasta. A better option? Choose 100% whole grain bread, brown rice, quinoa, or oats. These give you fiber, steady energy, and support your heart instead of working against it. 7. Packaged sweets. Now, let's talk about those tempting little treats. Cookies, pastries, snack cakes, candy bars, and store-bought desserts. They may feel like a small pleasure, something you deserve after a long day. But these packaged sweets are one of the worst things you can eat for your heart. Why? Because they bring together two of the most harmful ingredients: refined sugar and trans fats. Refined sugar causes your blood sugar to spike, forcing your body to release a lot of insulin to control it. Over time, this leads to insulin resistance, a condition closely linked to heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and weight gain. On top of that, these sweets are often made with hydrogenated oils, which we've already talked about. That means you're getting artery-clogging fats and sugar in every bite. And let's not forget the artificial ingredients: colorings, preservatives, and flavor enhancers that can cause inflammation and mess with your metabolism. Reach for dark chocolate, dates, or homemade snacks with real ingredients. Your heart won't miss the processed junk, but it will thank you for the healthier choices. 8. Fast food. Fast food may be convenient, cheap, and tasty, but it's one of the most dangerous habits for your heart. Whether it's burgers, fries, fried chicken, or pizza slices from a chain restaurant, these meals are often packed with everything your heart doesn't need: trans fats, saturated fats, sugar, and lots of salt. And when you combine all that in one meal, it becomes a recipe for long-term damage. Most fast food is fried in reused oils, which turn toxic and raise bad cholesterol. The buns are made with refined white flour. The sauces and condiments are full of sugar and preservatives. And the sodium levels? Through the roof. Just one fast food meal can push your salt intake way past the daily recommended limit, raising your blood pressure for hours afterward. For older adults especially, fast food puts added strain on a heart that may already be working harder than it used to. Over time, this contributes to clogged arteries, increased inflammation, and higher risk of strokes or heart attacks. If you eat fast food often, try to cut back. Cook simple meals at home. Use fresh ingredients. If you do eat out, Choose grilled items, skip the soda, and ask for dressings on the side. Small choices lead to big protection. 9. Energy drinks. You might think energy drinks are just for young people, but many older adults use them too, especially on days when energy feels low or sleep was restless. These drinks promise a quick boost, but what they really do is overload your heart with caffeine, sugar, and chemical stimulants your body may no longer handle well. A single can of an energy drink can contain 2 to 3 times the caffeine of a regular cup of coffee. That much caffeine can raise your heart rate, cause palpitations, and send your blood pressure soaring, especially if you already take medication for heart or blood pressure issues. And when caffeine is mixed with ingredients like taurine and guarana, the stimulating effect becomes even more dangerous. Plus, these drinks are loaded with sugar or artificial sweeteners. That means you're getting both a blood sugar spike and an adrenaline rush. A double hit that stresses your heart and can leave you feeling jittery, anxious, or even dizzy afterward. Regular use has been linked to higher risks of stroke, arrhythmia, and heart attack, even in healthy people. If you're feeling tired, it's better to look for natural solutions. Drink water, stretch your body, take a walk, or eat a protein-rich snack. Don't trade short-term energy for long-term harm. Your heart deserves better. And sugary breakfast cereals. Many people still believe that starting the day with a bowl of cereal is a healthy habit. But here's the truth. Most boxed breakfast cereals, especially the colorful, crunchy ones, are packed with added sugar and refined grains. When you eat a high-sugar cereal first thing in the morning, your blood sugar spikes quickly. That forces your body to release insulin to manage it. Repeating this cycle day after day contributes to insulin resistance, weight gain, and inflammation, all of which increase your risk of heart disease. Some cereals even contain high fructose corn syrup, which has been linked to liver problems and higher triglyceride levels. Many cereals also contain artificial colorings, preservatives, and chemicals that can mess with your digestion, raise inflammation, and burden your organs. Even cereals that say whole grain on the box can be misleading. Often, they're still loaded with sugar and have very little actual fiber. If you want to start your day in a heart-healthy way, go for steel-cut oats, unsweetened whole grain cereals, or homemade granola with nuts and fruit. It's a better breakfast that fuels your body without hurting your heart. 11. Whole milk and full-fat dairy can be a good source of calcium and protein, but not all dairy is created equal, especially for older adults concerned about heart health. Whole milk, full-fat cheese, heavy cream, and butter are all high in saturated fats. And while a little might not seem harmful, eating these regularly can raise your LDL cholesterol, the bad kind, which clogs your arteries over time. Many people assume that because dairy is natural, it's automatically safe. But the saturated fat in these products increases the risk of high blood pressure, atherosclerosis, hardening of the arteries, and even stroke, especially when combined with other high-fat or salty foods. And let's not forget the calories. Full-fat dairy can contribute to weight gain, which adds extra pressure on the heart. There's also growing concern about the hormones and antibiotics sometimes found in industrial dairy products. Over time, these can throw off your body's balance and add to inflammation, a root cause of many chronic conditions, including heart disease. You don't have to give up dairy completely, but it's smart to switch to low-fat or fat-free versions, or even explore plant-based options like almond milk, oat milk, or low-sodium tofu. 12. Bottled sauces, ketchup, barbecue sauce, mayonnaise, salad dressings, and even pasta sauces might seem harmless when added to your meals. But take a closer look at the labels, and you'll see they're packed with added sugar, salt, and preservatives, all of which can quietly harm your heart over time. Just 1 tablespoon of ketchup can contain almost a teaspoon of sugar, and many sauces are loaded with sodium to make them taste better and last longer on the shelf. Too much sodium causes your body to hold on to water, which raises blood pressure and forces your heart to work harder. Over time, this can lead to hypertension, one of the main triggers for heart attacks and strokes. These sauces also often contain high fructose corn syrup and chemical additives like monosodium glutamate, MSG, which may cause inflammation and interfere with your body's natural processes. And if you use these sauces daily, the effects slowly build up, even if you're careful with everything else in your diet. You can make simple homemade versions with olive oil, lemon, herbs, and a pinch of sea salt, or look for store-bought options labeled low sodium and free of added sugars. 13. Bacon and processed meats. If there's one food that combines nearly every heart-damaging ingredient in one bite, it's bacon, along with other processed meats like hot dogs, salami, pepperoni, and deli ham. These are more than just salty snacks or breakfast favorites. They are loaded with saturated fats, sodium, and chemical preservatives that can quietly harm your heart, day after day. Bacon is high in saturated fat, which increases LDL cholesterol, the kind that clogs your arteries and restricts blood flow. And it doesn't stop there. These meats also contain nitrites and nitrates, which are added to preserve color and flavor. But when cooked at high heat, like frying or baking, these compounds can turn into nitrosamines, chemicals linked to both cancer and heart disease. And let's not forget the salt. Just a couple of strips of bacon can use up nearly half your daily sodium allowance. High salt intake raises blood pressure, strains your heart, and leads to fluid retention, especially dangerous as we age. Studies show that people who regularly eat processed meats have a significantly higher risk of developing heart problems, strokes, and even dying earlier than those who avoid them. Try fresh cuts of meat, grilled chicken, or heart-healthy fish like salmon. You can even recreate that smoky taste using natural herbs and spices. Protecting your heart doesn't mean giving up everything you love. It means making smarter swaps that help you feel better and live longer. Now that you know the 13 foods that quietly harm your heart, I want you to remember this. It's never too late to make a change. You don't need to throw everything out overnight or follow a perfect diet. What matters most is that you start being aware of what goes into your body, one meal at a time. Your heart has worked hard for you all these years. It's time to give it the support it deserves. If something in this video made you pause and think, let that be your starting point. And if you found this helpful, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with a friend or family member who could use a little heart support too. Take care of your heart, and it will take care of you.